Alright, hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a watercolor-esque effect for images in Photoshop. Alright, so let's get started. Our first step is going to be to make this a smart object. Then from there, we're going to go ahead and select Filter, Filter Gallery, Dry Brush, and we're going to set our brush size to 10, our brush detail to 10, and our texture we're going to keep at 1. Click OK on that. We're going to go ahead and head back up to Filter. We're going to click on Filter Gallery again. This time we're going to select Cutout. Make sure your number of levels is 6, your edge simplicity is 4, and your edge fidelity is 1. Go ahead and click OK over there. And then we're going to go ahead and double click on this. Come on over to our opacity and change that to 60%. From there, we're going to go ahead and go back up to Filter, but come down to Blur, go to Smart Blur, drag your radius to 10.5, your threshold to 100, and set the quality to high. We're going to go ahead and keep the mode normal. Go ahead and click OK. Then we're going to go ahead and double click and edit it again on this little bar right over there. Going to go ahead and set the mode to screen and set the opacity to 50%. From there, we're going to go ahead and go to Stylize under Filters, find Edges. We're going to come over here, double click on that again, set the mode to multiply, and we're going to drag down the opacity to about 40. This kind of gives the effect of like little penciled lines that were used to draw like for reference and then like painted over. So you can go ahead and make these a little thicker if you want by dragging up the opacity. But I like to have them a little bit low. It just kind of brings out some of the edges but leaves it a little bit looser, and I like it that way. Let's see, from there we're going to go ahead and drag in a paper texture that we've gotten off the internet, and you can use any paper texture. Anything that looks kind of like watercolor paper will work. Let's see. Alright, go ahead and click enter, and then we're going to go ahead and apply sharpen to this to kind of just bring out a little bit of the details in the paper. It's a little hard to see, but once you have the final effect there, it makes it look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and change the layer style to multiply to get it to layer over the top so we have like the dark texture showing through. After that, go ahead and hold down Alt and click on the mask button here. That's going to go ahead and fill a mask layer with black and essentially block out everything on here, just showing the paper behind. From there, we're going to go ahead and use some watercolor brushes that I took off the internet here. There's a bunch of free ones you can find. It's pretty easy to find find one that you kind of like. From there, we're going to go ahead and make sure that our brush color is white. Shrink the brush down a little bit. Come on over to Shape Dynamics and set the angle jitter to 100%. And just kind of start stamping in some colors, starting from the center to make it look like that watercolor brush effect on there. Go ahead and select a couple of different brushes, doing the exact same thing. Coming over to Shape Dynamics, set the angle jitter to 100. Find a decent size and just kind of stamp it around. And then leave the edges open. That's going to kind of have like that bleeding out effect and kind of fade out onto the paper like watercolor kind of does. And we're going to do that one more time. And drop in some more of these. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. From there, we're going to go ahead and add in a curves adjustment layer. we're going to go ahead and set our bottom left corner here. Keep the input at 0 and set the input to 75, or the output to 75. Go ahead and add in a little center dot here as long as it's on the line. And then we're going to go ahead and change the input to 67 and the output to 112. And that's going to create like a nice even little curve there, and it's going to kind of reduce the contrast between the dark colors there and the lighter colors. Because with watercolor you don't really have too many super dark colors. And that kind of helps emulate that. Alright, from there we're going to go ahead and make a vibrance layer and drag the vibrance all the way up. And that's going to bring out a lot of the colors without making it too bright and saturated. And then, just to kind of do that one more time, we're going to set the saturation on this one to +20. And then we're going to take a brush, and you can use another watercolor brush, and make this one a little bit smaller. Set the shape to jitter again. And then you can change the color to black and just kind of stamp out some areas to drop a little bit of that saturation. And some of the areas that you want to kind of like push back a little and make it seem like it's a little bit watery. And you can drop that in a few little places. And then there you go. You've got your watercolor effect. You can kind of go through, adjust settings, see the way you like it. And there you go.